Hey guys, welcome back to Ash Art Books. Today I'm going to do my March Part 2 wrap-up. So since the middle of the month, I've read 6 more books, so I'm excited to talk about them. So the first book I read was, I reread Kiss the Sky by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I think I mentioned in my Part 1 wrap-up that I was starting it, and it was so good the second time. I love Connor and Rose, so this is part of the Addicted series / Calloway Sisters series. Technically, it's the first book in the Calloway Sisters series, and it was really good. I highly suggest that. I know I say that all the time, but I just feel like it's a series that's not appreciated enough. And if you want like family drama and angst and swooniness, you've got to check out Krista and Becca Ritchie's writing. I just think they've got it all. And if you don't want something as like consuming as the Addicted series, because it is a commitment of like 8 books, check out Amor Amor from them, because that one involves someone trying out for like the kind of circus in Vegas, and it's just as good, but it's only 2 books now, not 8, so just check that out. The second book I read was Dancing at Midnight by Julia Quinn, and I don't have that one here because I actually got it from the library, but I had to return it. And that one was book 2 in the, I don't know what the actual series is called, but I read the first book last month, and that one was great. This is one of Julia Quinn's earlier series. The first book in that series was called Splendid, and I really liked this one as well. So Dancing at Midnight follows the female lead that we met in the first book, because she's cousins to that character, and I am blanking on her name, you guys. I don't know why I'm so bad with character names, because I'm actually pretty good at people in real life's name, but anyways, the main character was great. She was very vibrant. She loved to read. She was on this like quest to read all of Shakespeare. If I didn't mention, this is a historical romance, but I figured you guys probably recognize that from Julia Quinn. But so our lead is funny, she's sassy, and she's kind of a darling of the society. She's had quite a few proposals, but she doesn't really find anyone that she likes, and she's determined to find someone she loves, and her parents are just the coolest. Julia Quinn writes amazing families, and these are no different. So she's kind of just biding her time until she finds someone. Well, she goes to visit her cousin who got married in the first book, and out of their country estate, and the next door neighbor that she runs into, who recently bought the place, is this like brooding kind of war-torn guy who had recently come back from, well, a couple of years ago, came back from the war and was awarded this title kind of as a reward for his kind of duty in the military. And so he actually knew the families had kind of known each other, but he was kind of lower in society until he got this title. Anyways, I really liked it. The two of them were just so much angst. I think I gave it 4 stars. I will say, as with the first book, because it was some of her earlier writing, I did have a few issues with just the fact that like the angst did get a bit much. You know, these two characters, she was very sassy, he was very like brooding, and the two of them together, like they just couldn't get it together. And I felt like they could have probably solved this problem like halfway through the book if they wanted to. So that was the only thing I had with it, but it was a really enjoyable read, and I really enjoyed it. So if you're looking for another Julia Quinn, check out Dancing at Midnight. So next I started my reread of the Shatter Me trilogy, because I really wanted to reread it before I read the newest one, Restore Me. And so I read Shatter Me, and then I read Unravel Me, and then I read Ignite Me, and they were all great. I thought they were really, really good a second time. I hadn't ever read them again since I originally read them like 4 years ago, and I decided to listen to them on audio this time around, and I'm really glad I did. It was a really good narration. It sucked me in. I listened to all 3 of these on audiobook in like a week and a half, which they're decently sized audiobooks. I just couldn't stop. I was using it everywhere I went, like around the house, doing chores, doing dishes, anything I was doing, like the audiobook was on. But you know, I love the Shatter Me trilogy. It's one of my favorite YA series. I gave all of them, I think I did give the middle one 4 stars this time around, but the other 2 I gave 5 out of 5. And Julia is just such an amazing main lead character. I think she grows so much from the first book to the last book. It's just truly amazing. Tara Mafi's writing has always been amazing, but I feel like when I listened to it this time around on audio, I really appreciated it even more, and I really could see how beautiful it was in a way that I don't know if I really grasped the first time I read it. I mean, I still like the story the first time, obviously, it was a favorite, but I don't know, I just felt like I really loved the writing, and maybe it's because I've read a lot more books since then, so I could kind of compare it to other things, but I still love them. Juliet and Warner forever, they are my favorite. One of my favorite couples, and I'm really, really excited to get to Restore Me. I haven't got to it quite yet. I do plan on getting to it very soon though, hence why I reread it, but I don't want to forget them again. But yeah, so I'm really excited to read them. Let me know if you guys have read it. No spoilers, please, in the comments, but if you guys have read it, just let me know if you liked it or not. So the next book I read was called Elite by Carrie Aarons. And this one I gave like a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It's probably more like a 3.5. It was okay. It wasn't as good as I was hoping for. So this book follows a female character named Eloise, and she is moving from England, where her father is a really, really big name actor. And so she's kind of part of like, honestly, like our version of high society in modern day, like going to lavish parties and just being part of like the high class. And so she kind of wanted to get away from that, and so she actually enrolled at the Sorbonne. And so, is that how you say that? I think it is, in France, because she wants to become a chef. But that was just so high pressure and so kind of anxiety filled for her that she really wanted just one semester of college that was kind of more carefree. So she enrolls at this school in, I believe it's Vermont, and she thinks it's just going to be like an all-American kind of college experience where she can kind of kick back and not have to worry about too much. Well, the book starts off at this university, and there's kind of this like secret society type thing that the girls at the university, sometimes they choose people to pledge for them. So there's kind of that half the story going on throughout it. And then obviously she also meets one of the guys who is the kind of head honcho on the basketball team, and he was very sweet, and they kind of hit it off. And I liked this. It wasn't that it was bad, I just, for some reason, and I read it really quickly, for some reason it just wasn't clicking for me. I liked Eloise. She was really fiery. She was definitely a spitfire. She said what she meant, and she didn't take crap from anyone, which was really nice. The male character was kind of forgettable to me, and I think that was part of it. He just didn't have that like something extra quality, and I think that's why the two of them, while sweet, I just didn't feel like emotionally attached to them. So when they kind of were hurting, I wasn't hurting as much because I just didn't feel that attachment. So 3.5, if you're looking for something that's set in college and that's kind of a fun kind of secret society aspect to it, check it out, but it just wasn't the best I've read. The next one I read was The Swedish Prince by Karina Halle. I'm pretty sure it's Halle, right guys? Someone tell me if it's Halle or Hale. But anyways, The Swedish Prince, this is her newest release, and you guys know, as I said in my last video, if it has the word prince or princess in it, I typically want to purchase it. So I got this one, and this is part of Kindle Unlimited, so I was really excited. So was Elite, actually, so I'm doing really good with my Kindle Unlimited, guys. So this one follows a girl named Maggie McPherson, and she's living, when it starts, she's living in New York, and something happens very tragic, and she has to move home to this small town and take care of her like 5 siblings. And so she is just not having very good luck, and just very tragic. She kind of has to leave school. She's working as a maid at a hotel, and she's just trying to get through one day at a time, honestly. And then she meets this guy who's like falling asleep at the bar, and he's this huge, hulking, big guy, and the bartender asks her to like help, like he's clearly passed out, but he doesn't really seem drunk, get him home. And it turns out that it is a guy, and they don't know who his name is, but Maggie, being a really sweet person, is going to assist with this. And it turns out it's Victor, and Victor turns out to be, like, I don't want to spoil it, but it's in the title, he's a prince from Sweden, and that's kind of where the story goes from there. I really liked this. I gave it 4 out of 5. It's definitely a good, solid read. It was enjoyable. I just finished this yesterday, and I loved Maggie. I thought she had a lot thrown at her and she was doing a really great job being realistic about her situation and not kind of getting taken away by kind of the bliss of it all. I thought Karina Halley did a really good job of blending like a fairy tale into something that could potentially happen. I mean, is it a little unbelievable still? Yes, but I think if we're gonna go with unbelievable, like this is the good one to go with. I liked Victor a lot. He had a very tragic past as well and had been through a lot, so the two of them together really bonded over that. I've read a couple, I believe, other of Karina Halley's books, and this one was one of my favorites. So if you guys are looking for a royalty read, I highly suggest it. There were a few things that felt a little flat for me. I just don't know. I loved it up until about 3/4 of the way through. And then that last quarter, I just felt like it was a bit rushed and they could have kind of explained things a little better, and maybe the plot could have been, I don't know, maybe some things could have been tied up in a different way, but I just felt like it was a little rushed and I would have loved like another epilogue, but that's just me. I always want another epilogue. So overall, it was a good solid 4 out of 5. And then I finally read The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I did not read this earlier when everyone was telling me to. I mean, seriously, I don't think everyone was telling me to read this. So I finally read it, and I actually listened to it on audio as well. I'm really into the audiobooks lately, guys. I'm getting so much more in because I'm just listening to it everywhere. But this was so good. Like, I'm sure you guys, most of you probably already read this, but if you haven't, don't be like me and wait this long. Go get it now. But it was so cute. So as you guys I'm sure know, it follows our two main characters, Lucy and Joshua, and they are mortal enemies at their jobs. And basically it's the quintessential hate to love story. It was so funny. Lucy is the perfect female character. She's just so funny, so relatable. The things she says are hysterical and things that you were thinking in your brain at the same time. I love some of the twists they threw in there, some of the things that we've been seeing throughout the whole book that come to kind of fruition at the end to do with like Josh's character. And he was just so swoony. I mean, people kept saying that and I didn't believe them, and boo on me because Joshua Templeton is amazing and so is Lucy Hutton. But Joshua just so sweet, and oh my gosh, it was the best romantic comedy I've read in a really long time. I mean, I do love some other ones. You guys know I love like my R.S. Gray and stuff, but this is a top contender. A 5 out of 5 stars. It's probably my favorite read of the month, other than maybe not the reread of the Shatter Me trilogy. That's kind of, they're so different, but this is definitely up there. I'm so glad I finally read it, and I'm really excited to see what else Sally Thorne comes up with. And I completely agree with those people saying this would make the perfect movie. Somebody needs to get on that, okay guys? Like, make it a movie already. It'd be so good. I am reading one more book currently, but I haven't finished it yet, and that is Show Me the Way by A.L. Jackson, and that's the book that was chosen for the Books Are My Heart read along book club situation. I think the live show is going to be on the 3rd of April, I believe it is. So I wanted to get that one in and read it because it sounded amazing and I really wanted to take part in the read along. So so far it's good. I'm only like 10% in, so I haven't read too much of it, but so far it's really sweet and it has a single dad in it, which I'm a complete sucker for, so I think I'll like it. So those are all the books that I read this month. It was a really good reading month for me. I've really gotten into audiobooks. Hoopla is amazing, and you guys need to go check it out if you haven't yet. So thank you guys so much for watching, and like and subscribe if you would like to, and I'll see you guys next time.